for it is in fact the very asset that counts ultimately. All others, including knowledge, intelligence and wealth, have meaning and purpose only when they are associated with a considerable degree of physical, mental and emotional well-being. These are words by the founder and managing director of Clinoma Healthcare, a vision conceptualized by Dr. Zenobia Madan. Patient empowerment, an evolving idea towards reforming healthcare, is being presented by the next speaker, Dr. Zenobia Madan. Welcome, Dr. Madan.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Very good morning to everyone. I'm very thankful indeed to Dr. Malpani and Mrs. Malpani and to Anju for inviting me to this very exciting conference on patient empowerment. To start with, we had such an exciting talk by Dr. Malpani. Every word he spoke was so true, which I have experienced in my 25 years of healthcare experience, in my hospital scenario and in my pharma experience. I think we need to take so many messages from Dr. Malpani. Both Dr. Malpani and Mrs. Malpani are doing such excellent work in Health Library, and we as doctors and patients must indeed support them tremendously in this endeavor. In my talk on evolving idea towards reforming current healthcare for patient empowerment, I'm going to take you through some very important concepts, how we can really empower these patients in today's concepts. Patient empowerment today, as we understand, is a very new concept which has emerged in recent health scenario. And this actually embraces the idea that everyone has the right to make their own choices about their health care. There's no dictation in this. Everyone has the right. Each one of us sitting in this room has the right to make their own health choices. Nobody can dictate their views on us. No doctor can dictate their views. Nobody can dictate their views. No family person can dictate their views. Nobody can dictate views on us about what choices we need to make. So we can decide which doctor we need to go to. We can decide if we want to take a second opinion of a doctor. All this is totally our choice. And every patient needs to take an active role in his or her own disease management. It's very important. We should not have a very laid-back attitude. Okay, the doctor is responsible for managing my disease. I don't care. Okay? He knows my disease. If I'm suffering from ulcerative colitis, he knows how to manage my disease. Why should I be bothered what is ulcerative colitis? He knows what it is. Okay? And I should not be bothered about my problems. You should be very actively involved in what you're suffering from. You should be very actively involved in how your disease is getting managed. You should be actually going through the website on what your disease is and how your doctor is managing it. Is he managing it properly also? Okay? And if you feel that there is a second opinion required, you need to go through it. Okay? So, in the past, patients, you hardly could hear that patients used to be involved in this participation when the disease management was to be involved. But today we hear that patients are getting actively very much involved. Today there's so much of literacy involved, there's so much of health literacy involved. And today many patients realize that this level of participation is very vital to maintaining health because medical challenges are increasing. Now, this model of patient empowerment is basically based on the assumption that if you have to be truly healthy, patients have to bring about changes in their personal behavior, social situations, and overall environment that influence their lives. So it's a holistic approach where you have to overall bring about an attitude change, your personal behavior change, social situational changes, and everything needs to change in order to be overall healthy. And this model has evolved out of the realization that you cannot lead a lifestyle which is dictated out of others. Nobody can dictate your lifestyle. So patient empowerment is totally out of a model that nobody can dictate your lifestyle. Now, what are the key tenets of patient empowerment? Patients have right to make their own choices, and this is one of mutual respect. Everybody must respect the patients And the respect derives from valuing human life, as Dr. Malpani also mentioned, that everybody must learn to value human life. Even when we do a clinical research on patients, I've been very actively involved with doing clinical research with patients. I've done almost 100 clinical research projects in my lifetime till now. So when we do clinical research with patients, we are very much concerned about how we actually take informed consent of the patients. And we are very much concerned that the patient, unless he consents to giving the informed consent, then only we go ahead with doing the clinical research. We do not enforce that, no, you take part in the research protocol without your consent. So it is valuing the patient's respect. The respect of the patient is important. And another important thing is the human life is of primary importance. So if the research is not going to benefit the patient, and if the research is going against the value of the human life, we do not consider that research valuable also. And very important is that when you empower the patient, we are all into building a very good clinician-patient relationship. So it's a partnering, as Dr. Malpani also said, it's a partnering of the patient and the physician relationship. Now, how do we empower these patients? There are very many ways of empowering patients. It can be achieved by a very good amount of training and support, like the Health Library is also doing. They're doing a very good work of training, support through a lot of books, through a lot of periodicals, through a lot of journals, through a lot of magazines. So we in pharma also used to do a lot of newsletters, a lot of things we used to give through our pharma. We used to circulate a lot of newsletters and a lot of publications to the patient material as patient information leaflets and all these things, in order to empower the patients, in order to educate the patients on all these materials. Various options are available. Even if you do a clinical research, these clinical research materials are given, and in the clinical research, when you are doing this clinical research protocol, the patient is educated before the clinical research is started. Okay, this is the protocol. So many times your tests will be done. So many times your blood will be withdrawn. You will be given this kind of a medicine during the study. Okay, are you agreeable to this? So all this is educating the patient. This is the kind of patient empowerment you do. Multimedia programs, information technology, and skill building techniques. For example, if it's a diabetes patient, you have to educate the patient by giving him diabetes self-management program. And it's very important that if a patient has a low health literacy, then it will adversely impact on the patient empowerment. The highly educated patient, the higher the level of education, the better will be the impact on the patient empowerment. It's very important that when you have to empower the patient, it is to solicit the patient's views and to listen what the patient says. It's very important that when a patient comes to us, we learn to listen to the patient. We just don't keep on talking to the patient and just, wind up the patient as fast as possible because we don't have time with the patient. So it is very important that we also understand the patient's views. Multiple studies, if you see on the internet, it has demonstrated that patients who are involved with management decisions have better outcomes than those who are not involved. Because when they get involved with us as doctors, we are able to give them a better patient outcome and their improvement in the treatment is far better. So this is how internet and seeking information is really helped in improving the patient drastically. Please understand that for us as treating doctors, any patient is one more additional patient. But for the patient, his illness is very unique, and for him, his illness really becomes a real troublesome illness for him. So when the channeling of the web information is to promote patient environment, when you take the channeling of the web information, you ask several questions on the web. What, why, how, when, who. And when you do all this, you get a sense of control on the information, you get self-efficacy, and all this empowers the patient to get sufficient information to really get all the information, and that when the patient is empowered, he can go to the doctor with sufficient information to ask enough questions to the doctor. However, the information that the patient uses should be very judicious, and patients should use internet should not overuse the internet to make self-diagnosis also. It should not be really done in